Well, my father immigrated from England when he was just a young tot, and they lived on the East Coast. And his mother ultimately couldn't take care of all the children, so her sister took my father, Norm, to Minneapolis to live with aunt and uncle. That's where he grew up and went to school. When he was a young boy, he worked in a grocery store, hauled groceries around in a wagon, and started working for A&P and eventually became manager of one of the biggest A&Ps in Minneapolis. Moved to Fargo to work in another grocery store, and then he got the opportunity to open up his own store in Devils Lake, North Dakota. Well, my father was working in a supermarket there in Fargo, North Dakota, about a block away from my grandfather George McCabe's drugstore, where my mother-to-be, Marge, was working at the time that they met. Over the course of the time, they met, started dating and all that kind of stuff, and eventually when my dad told, my mother told her dad that she was going to marry Norm Leevers, he said, well, what do you want to marry that prune peddler for? He'll never amount to anything. His first store was about 1,500 square feet, and basically my father and my mother did everything themselves. They put up the orders, they delivered the orders, they did it all. Back in 1938, when Dad came there, he was an IGA store until 1942, when Super Value came into existence, and he went with Super Value as a supplier. My dad always said that Super Value was the savior of the independents because they treated their independents very well and tried to help them, and they had staff out there. In the old days, working in my dad's grocery store, basically the whole family worked. My mother was, for a long time, was a bookkeeper, and my dad ran the store, and myself, my two brothers, and my sisters over different periods of time all worked in the grocery store. And when I was a young boy, my first experience in the grocery business was working in my father's second store. I was just a young fella. We would go down the basement, we would bag potatoes. We would take them out of the 100-pound bag and put them in the 10-pound bags and then haul them back up to the store for sale. When my father started out in the grocery business, he had a great deal of ambition and no money. So he worked extremely hard, and he did that all of his life. He worked hard, and he accomplished a great many things, and he had a lot of respect for everyone, and everyone had a lot of respect for him. Well, and that's why he was known as a gentleman in the grocery business. I think we learned a lot from our father about how to treat people, and I think that's one of the reasons my father was so successful. When I first came into the business, and we had several stores, and the only one to call on those stores was my dad, and then eventually it was me. As we expanded in North Dakota and in Colorado, we started expanding our team. Mostly people that have grown up with us. We have people that have been with us for 45 years. We have many people that have been with us anywhere from 20 years and up to 45 years. They've got a lot of great people that have done a great job for our family and our business, and of course, we try to do the best job we can for them, and they try to do the best job they can for the company. We have a guy named Randy Leevers who's been with us for 45 years. Started working as a box boy in Rugby, North Dakota. Worked his way up to manager, managed Langdon, North Dakota, managed Devils Lake, North Dakota, then opened our Pueblo, Colorado store. And he is still with us today. He works in a supervisory capacity. Eventually we grew to 9 stores, is that in North Dakota? And then when we expanded into Colorado, again, we opened up the biggest county market in Pueblo, Colorado. That was the biggest county market in the country at the time. And that was a very successful store. It was back in 1973, myself, along with help from my father, started a profit sharing plan that's for our employees that still exists today. And we also, along with that eventually became a 401k. The 401k has now developed into the ESOP, which is another tremendous asset for all of our employees, because they now become owners, and the longer they stay, the better deal it is for them. Over the years that we have been fortunate enough to have been in this grocery business, we have met not only a lot of wonderful, great people that are employees, customers, and business associates. We've had a terrific time. My wife and I have had some of the best times in the world in this business and met some of the finest people that there is. It's been awesome, and I wouldn't trade any of the people, I wouldn't trade any of it for anything. And the relationships that we have had, we will have for the rest of our life. Well, the Leevers philosophy, as well as SuperValue's philosophy over all these years, has been that we want to take care of our customer better than anybody else could take care of our customer, and we want to provide them with quality products at a low price. The truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for all the great people that we've had and have working for us then and now, we wouldn't be able to do all the things that we've done today. Without that kind of support and commitment from a lot of hardworking people. So for me and my wife Sharon, we would just like to say to you all that we know that the next 75 years is going to be as successful as the last 75 years. And thank you all very much.